Hello and welcome to the Ice Guys. This is the show that takes you into the world of the National Hockey League. Every game, every day, from a betting perspective. With pro sports handicappers, Ian Cameron, Alex B. Smith, and various guests from the world of hockey and sports betting. And now, here's your host, Ian Cameron.
Welcome to the Ice Guys, Monday, November 27th. Ian Cameron, Alex B. Smith, ready to break down the Monday NHL card. Obviously, it's not a bad slate for a Monday, actually. 6 games on tap tonight, and we will break those down. And we'll get right into it. It'll be a short show today. We'll go right into the games today. But before we do that, we do want to put up on the screen tomorrow night we've had a couple betcasts, but they've been members only. This will be free for all, the main betcast, if you will, for the month of November, coming your way tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern, Tuesday night, for what will be a terrific night of hockey. It is not only a big card coming your way on Tuesday night with 10 games, but we've got Islanders-Devils, pretty good rivalry. You've got Panthers-Leafs, a playoff rematch tomorrow night. You've got Penguins and Predators, and Nashville's red hot right now, so they're a team worth watching at the moment. Dallas and Winnipeg, showdown for first place, essentially, in that division right now. Outstanding game. Alex's Blackhawks against Seattle tomorrow night. You've got Vegas and Edmonton. Yeah, I know Edmonton's had their struggles, but that's still a playoff rematch from the second round last year. Like, it is a very, very good night as far as NHL games and intriguing games tomorrow night on the NHL slate. So definitely looking forward to it. It's our November betcast tomorrow night, Tuesday, November 28th, 7 p.m. Eastern. As always, DM or email me or Alex to get the link to the betcast to join us on the stream. And you are, of course, be more than welcome to join us on the betcast stream tomorrow night. We are looking forward to it for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm just looking at the lines opening. There's something that's popping up in one of these games that is shocking the hell out of me. So this might be one betcast for sure. Don't miss it. It's going to be a lot of fun. We got a lot of cool stuff that's coming up with it too. I'll be doing a product demonstration. That's a part of a thing that the Ice Guys are doing with cake. So we'll be doing that as well. I'll be rocking the new hoodie. Ian will have a hoodie as well. So we got that coming up. We've got some great games, and like I said, this is kind of leading into an interesting point in the season because we talk about it, how often, this is looked at as the turning point, right? Every team's within 20, 25 games in. Our team's contenders or pretenders. And now, of course, that window has been kind of stretched a little bit into the Christmas and even New Year's holiday. But I think this is now we're starting to see some things shake out. Based on what we've seen last night, what we've seen this past weekend, I think in the next couple of weeks, there's going to be some really pivotal matchups and some really pivotal results that lead to what we're going to see in the future, some of these teams regarding the future of the season. So definitely looking forward to Tuesday. Definitely look forward to this week.
Yeah, no doubt. Looking forward to it for sure. And what we've got on tap with this live betcast coming your way tomorrow night for what should be a really good NHL card. Hopefully, betting opportunity-wise, it will be just as good as well. All right, we'll get into the Monday games. We'll begin in the Big Apple. Buffalo Sabres, New York Rangers. We've got the Rangers minus 220, home favorites, 6 the total in this game. Rangers continue to be just very, very impressive. Not only their defensive game, which we know has been solid most of the year. We know their goaltending, regardless of Jonathan Quick or Igor Shesterkin, has been really good. But they are scoring goals in bunches right now, and that is something that we know what the Rangers, they're capable of, but we don't always see that on a consistent basis. But right now, they are getting great contributions from everybody, having no trouble finding the back of the net. It's just been a terrific and strong first couple months of the season. 15-3-1 for this team. They have won 3 straight. They are 7-1 in their last 8 games. They had a great weekend, back-to-back wins Friday against Philadelphia, and then a 7-4 win, hanging 7 goals on the Boston Bruins. You need to pat yourself on the back when you do that. Very, very impressive stuff from the New York Rangers right now. And certainly, like I said, they're getting contributions right now at the moment from everyone in their lineup. And that is truly a great thing to see if you're a Ranger fan, because when you look at the stat sheet regarding this hockey team right now, you've got Panarin 29 points, Kreider 20 points, Trocheck 16, Zibanejad 14, Gustafsson from the blue line 14 points, Lafreniere 12, Adam Fox 11. So you've got basically 7 players in double digits in points already at this stage of the season. So absolutely been very, very strong, this Rangers team. Can they keep it going here tonight against Buffalo? We'll see. Buffalo got pretty much blasted against the New Jersey Devils Saturday night, 7-2. And I honestly didn't expect Nico Hischier to come back. And then when I heard that he was returning the other night, I'm like, I get the sense New Jersey wasn't thrilled with losing to Columbus either the day before. I'm like, Buffalo might be walking into a bit of a hornet's nest now against a New Jersey team that's going to be certainly inspired and happy to see their captain back on the ice. And that's exactly what happened. I mean, New Jersey just boat raced them early, got out to a 4-0 lead and never looked back. So, one step forward, 2 steps back has been the MO of Buffalo this season. They have the win against Pittsburgh, comeback fashion, 3-2 at home on Friday night, and then they follow it up. They get blown out 7-2 essentially by the Devils the very next night. So, it's one of those deals where this is usually the spot I like Buffalo, big plus price, road underdog. This is the spot where sometimes they step up and surprise teams and get the win. But I don't know if I want to take a chance fading the Rangers again, because I did that on Saturday with Boston. It's just because Boston was off a loss. I'm like, Boston's just automatic off a loss. Not on Saturday, not against this Rangers team, which was the first time this year Boston's lost 2 in a row. So very, very difficult to step in front of the Rangers. I got the slightest of leans based on the spot and the price to the Buffalo side, but I don't know if I'm going to be pulling the trigger on it. What do you think here, Alex? Sabres, Rangers?
Yeah, like I said, it's really hard to go in front of this Rangers train right now, and especially when you look at the series history. Rangers have been winning most of these games, but the biggest thing that stands out is the draw. 4 of the last 5 meetings have gone past regulation. So that's the thing I'm taking a shot with here. Like I said, the Rangers have played well. Like I said, wins against Philly. That's kind of still a slight bit of a rivalry. It's a division rival. Boston, that's a heated battle. Like I said, going back and forth. And keep in mind, they had a 2-0 lead early, blew that, came back and got the lead to end the first period, and then traded goals back and forth to get that win. So that's kind of a tough back and forth battle. Maybe they start off a little slow at home. Buffalo can kind of push things a little bit. And this one goes back and forth, and we see another one go past regulation. So I'm taking a small shot here with the draw. I got plus 380 over FanDuel earlier.
I think that makes sense. Certainly when you look at what we've seen, you're right. 4 of the last 5 Sabres versus Rangers meetings have gone past regulation. I mean, their current form, not so much. Both of these teams have just played 2 games past regulation in their last 10, but certainly on the series history, you can make it a case that they've seen a lot of close games. You're right. Sabres have played the Rangers tough. Just winning those games has been a little bit of an issue for them in terms of on a consistent basis. As far as, like I say, the player props go for this game, for the Sabres, they do have a couple of young kids that have just been called up and are in the lineup. Now, this will be their second game. Juraj Kulich and Isak Rosen for them the last couple of games, or this will be their second game. But they're both on the 3rd and the 4th line, so they're on the bottom 6 forward group, both of them. But for me, I would stick to anybody on that second line. I think there's value. Other than Tuck might be worth a look too for Buffalo, but Benson, Cousins, and Peterka, that second line's been pretty decent for the Sabres since they were put together. And then for the Rangers, Jimmy Vesey, I'm telling you what, I'm finally buying into Jimmy Vesey and the little hot streak he's putting together right now. And we know this is someone that's had to transform his game. He was this Hobey Baker winner, great offensive talent, never really consistently clicked for him at the NHL level. But you look at what he's been doing lately here for the New York Rangers. He scored 2 goals against New Jersey, a goal and an assist against Boston. So you want a little bargain bin aside from the usual suspects like Kreider and Zibanejad and Lafreniere and Kakko and, Panarin, the normal players you would bet for props for the New York Rangers. Maybe you look at Jimmy Vesey right now. He's starting to percolate offensively for them. All right, next up, we've got Boston, Columbus, Bruins minus 260, road favorites, 6.5 the total. I mean, my goodness, the Bruins, you just don't see, defensive issues for them the likes of which we saw against the New York Rangers on, and even before that against Detroit on Black Friday. This team's given up 12 goals in the last 2 games combined. That is not Boston Bruins hockey that we are accustomed to. So there's going to be a sentiment in that dressing room that, hey, we got to tighten this back and get back to Bruin hockey and sound in our own zone. And we'll see if they're able to do that here tonight for the Bruins in this game against Columbus. It's obviously a situation where it's a rest advantage for Boston. They played Saturday afternoon against New York, whereas Columbus, they're coming back off a back-to-back playing in Carolina last night. Tough loss for Columbus, man. They had a 2-0 lead. And, man, those are the ones where on the road, even against a good Carolina team, you're like, we got to sew that up and find a way to get the victory. They were not able to do it. The Hurricanes come back with 3 unanswered, including the first goal of the season for Andrei Svechnikov. Long overdue for him to finally get off the schneid, and he did that, scoring a beautiful goal, game-winning goal, wonderful give and go, perfect one-time shot past Merzlikins for the game winner, 3-2 for the Carolina Hurricanes in comeback fashion. So now it's back-to-back for Columbus with, of course, Spencer Martin in net. No surprise with Merzlikins playing yesterday and this being a back-to-back situation. Spencer Martin, really first few starts pretty good. Not so much the last couple. 4 goals allowed to Dallas in a 5-2 loss. 5 goals allowed to Detroit in a 5-4 loss. And 4 goals allowed to Philadelphia in a 5-2 loss in his last few starts. So not nearly as effective lately for Boston. I don't hate that look from one of our chat participants, Ice X, who's always in every day. The first period puck line, I could see that. Out of the Bruins. They do need a better start. They didn't start well against Detroit. They didn't start well against the Rangers either. Got behind early in both games, really early in both games. I think Detroit scored less than 10 minutes into the game Friday. The Rangers scored like 2 minutes into the game on Saturday afternoon. We were still on the damn air, Alex and I, on Saturday with Bo Cornell, our guest that day, and there's the Rangers already up 1-0. So this Boston team does need a better start, a better first 20 minutes. So for that reason and from that line of thinking, first period puck line on the Bruins, I probably will bet that for a certain amount. What do you think here in this one, Alex? Bruins Jackets.
Well, I grabbed over 6 at -120. It was available at BetMGM this morning. Now everything has moved to 6.5, so I obviously would advise to wait. Grab 6 or 5.5 in game. Also would look to grab plus money on the first period over 1.5 in game as well. Like I said, Boston should come out firing. And Spencer Martin, like I said, mechanically he's looked good. I think he's looked the best that he's looked pretty much in his NHL time in a few of these games. He just haven't had any defensive support in front of him. And then the last couple of games where he started to look just average or mediocre, the floodgates have opened up. So, it's one of those things where you have to look at, the eye test of, okay, yes, the numbers are bad, but is his form better than what we're seeing? And in this case, it is. But even with that, I think Boston, like I said, getting out of that boat race with the Rangers, and like I said, having back stars those first couple games, I think we see goals here early, but not early enough to the point where we will be shut out. I think we can wait a few minutes and be able to grab some good prices in game for first period and full game.
All right, so liking the overs, but liking them more live for better numbers over in the first period and over. Yeah, the first period team total for the Bruins possibly, but I might just stick to but the thing with that is the team total is I could see them getting the lead and then honing in on the defensive end because they know they've given up too many goals uncharacteristically here the last couple of games. So not saying they can't score 2 goals in the first period, but once they get up 1, they might be looking for, a little bit of a defensive shutdown attitude or mode after that for sure. But Boston definitely has the schedule advantage in their favor. As far as props go on Boston, I'm always going to look first and foremost at the 2 centers because both of them are really, really, really contributing and producing right now. Pavel Zacha and Charlie Coyle, the 1-2 centers for the Bruins. Zacha's been consistent all year, and Coyle's really heated up. Coyle for the Bruins has 5 points and 4 goals in the last 4 games for Boston. So Charlie Coyle has really found it. And they need his offense. You could say all you want about how he's trying to, be a good 2-way center, but they need some offense from Charlie Coyle too, especially now that he's going to be second line center. He's got to give them some of the offense Krejci gave them all these years. So it's definitely a sight that is welcome to Bruins fans to see Charlie Coyle finding the back of the net and producing right now. And then for Columbus, like I said, Marchenko has really been someone that's started to heat up for them at the offensive end of the ice here in recent games. It's not a bad prop option, in my opinion. Boston has owned this series, by the way. They have won, obviously, 6 straight head-to-head versus the Columbus Blue Jackets, including no problem winning here in Columbus either for this Bruins team. The Bruins have gone 6-0 in the last 6 meetings overall, and here in Columbus, similar success as well. So I do like them a little bit, but more so first period puck line. Beecher might be on the 4th line here for Boston and a Cuban, so just be aware of that. I'm seeing him on the 4th line. I'm not saying he can't score, but I'd like to be seeing him up the lineup and more ice time than what he's going to get if indeed he's on the 4th line tonight for that prop. All right, next up, Florida, Ottawa. Florida minus 130, road favorite, 6.5 the total in this one. Panthers, obviously, trying to get back on track. They've been a little bit more susceptible on the road, though, just 5-5 away from Florida. They're off back-to-back losses, albeit Boston in one game and Winnipeg in the other, and those are 2 pretty good teams. And Winnipeg was all geeked up, for that game against Florida. It was Rick Bonus's return behind the bench, and you could tell that they had a little, and that was more important than your average regular season game to the Winnipeg Jets. They wanted to get it done there, and the return behind the bench for Rick Bonus, and what a great job it was by them shutting out Florida 3-0. So Florida just 1 goal all of a sudden the last 2 games combined, trying to get their offense going once again. The chances are they might get their offense going again here against Ottawa. Ottawa's not a team that goes extended stretches with shutting down the opponent. If you look at some of their recent scores, they give up 6 to Tampa, 3 to Toronto, 5 to Vancouver, 4 to Detroit, albeit they won that game over in Sweden. And then they come back from Sweden. They give up 5 to the New York Islanders on Friday night, losing 5-3 to the Islanders in that game. So it's not exactly, it's just an up and down team defensively night to night. And quite honestly, that's what you should expect from them with the defense in the state that it is without Thomas Chabot. Thomas Chabot is missed without a doubt. And without him, there's young players on the blue line. Jacob Bernard Docker has to play more. Artem Zub has to go up into a top pair role with Sanderson. Chikrin's got to log more minutes. Brandstrom's got to play more. So it's still an adjustment right now on the blue line for Ottawa. As far as goaltending, Sergei Bobrovsky for Florida confirmed. Jonas Korpisalo expected, but there was some talk that he, a little bit of a injury, minor injury at morning skate today, so it may not be him. They might go Forsberg instead tonight, Ottawa. So just be aware of that. As far as this game goes, though, you look at the last 3 head-to-head meetings, 7 goals or more. 4 of the last 5 head-to-head meetings, 7 goals or more. So rather than taking a side here, I'm going to look more toward over 6.5. And we know something that I have talked about for a very long time with Ottawa Senators home games is the propensity for overs in their home games. Really, it's been a staggering margin. I mean, Ottawa-Tampa, home game for Ottawa, 6-4. Home game for Ottawa with Vancouver, 5-2. 5-3 the other night with the Islanders. I think if I go and look at the Ottawa record here, if I can find it, in terms of over-under at home, it's pretty damn strong, and it's not one that really you want to mess with all that much. So I do like the over here. I lean Ottawa. I do at plus 110, home underdog. Florida, a little, maybe Florida's going to go through their little malaise, their little funk right now. But I don't like it enough to bet it with this Ottawa team. Florida off 2 straight losses, starting a road trip. I expect the focus to be there for the Panthers tonight. So for me, it's mostly the over. I prefer that a lot more than either side. I just lean Ottawa. Don't know if I'll actually end up pulling the trigger with that one. Alex, what do you think here? Florida, Ottawa.
Yeah, this was a clear pass for me. Florida's a team I just haven't really been high on. Like I said, Ottawa, I still want to kind of see, is there going to be some momentum building from, that Sweden trip? Like I said, they're having some issues and injuries. Missing Shabbat's huge. So this is a wait and see kind of game. I'm probably going to be passing on this. There's other spots I like tonight.
All right, it's a pass for Alex in this one. Yeah, prop-wise, keep in mind in terms of Florida, great job by the chat pointing it out, but Barkov's good. Barkov's in tonight. Nothing wrong with him. He'll be in there tonight. No issues there. He'll be with Reinhart and Rodriguez, Verhaeghe, Bennett, Kachuk, the second line. So starting to get, more toward what we saw from the Florida lineup, the way it's constructed more toward in the playoffs last year for Paul Maurice as he tries to get things going with his team just a little bit. I will say this. I mean, in terms of props for the Florida Panthers right now, someone that's been, contributing a little bit at times this year, even though down the lineup for them, Nick Cousins has 2 points in the last 4 games. I see he's been, going to the net. Someone that maybe you can take a look at. Ottawa, to me, Timmy Stützle has just been absolutely on fire for the Ottawa Senators, and he might be worth a look over 1.5 points right now with what he has been, contributing offensively lately for the Ottawa Senators, and certainly it's been impressive. All right, arguably the game of the night, certainly one of them, Tampa Bay, Colorado, rematch of your Stanley Cup final 2 years ago, the 2022 Stanley Cup final. We've got Colorado minus 130, home favorites, 6.5 the total in this one. Of course, Andrei Vasilevsky back in net for the Tampa Bay Lightning, and back with a vengeance, if you will, with an 8-2 win for the Tampa Bay Lightning and Vasi's return on Friday night. Very impressive win for Tampa Bay. Just a destruction of the Carolina Hurricanes in their own building in that game. So extremely impressive stuff from Tampa Bay. Of course, these two teams very familiar with each other from the Stanley Cup final 2 years ago. A lot of the players still on both of these teams. Last year, these teams met in the regular season, of course, as usual, one in each building. Tampa won both games, 5-0 at home and 4-3 in a shootout here in Colorado. So 2-0 for the for the Tampa Bay Lightning head-to-head against Colorado in the regular season last year. And you don't have to ask Tampa Bay to get fired up to play Colorado, knowing they lost the Stanley Cup final to them a couple years ago. I tell you what I saw them do against Carolina, it makes me think Tampa Bay might go on a bit of a run here. I don't want to step in front of them in this spot, second game back with Vasilevsky. But at the same time, Colorado's playing really well again, heating up, playing good hockey. The offense is flowing again, 6-1 in their last 7 games. And if they don't fall asleep in the final minute of the third period in that one game against Nashville, they're probably 7-0 right now in their last 7 games. So it's a great game. I have no interest in looking at the side in this game. I think it's going to be a fun one to watch. Maybe you sprinkle the draw. We did see overtime, or a shootout rather, when they played in Denver last year between these two teams. So we'll see if that gets going here. The power plays for both of these teams have just been sick, how good they've been. Colorado's now scored in 7 straight games with the power play. Tampa Bay is an unbelievable 7 power play goals, or 8 power play goals in their last 4 games. So they've been absolutely outstanding with the man advantage. I actually lean over here. I do. We saw 4-3 in Denver last year. Even with Vasilevsky back, with the potency of these two teams right now, especially with the power play, I might get there with a small bet over. But more than anything, this is a game to just enjoy as a hockey fan. And I do have some props, but we'll hear from Alex first. What do you think here, Alex? Lightning, Avs.
Yeah, trying to figure out some shit with my internet too. This game's gonna be interesting. Like I said, looking at this price, and obviously I saw Lightning plus 125 earlier today, and I said plus money is gonna go really fast with Tampa Bay. Not Vasilevsky's back in the lineup. Of course, he hasn't been confirmed yet, but that's good value to grab with him. But I'm still waiting to see. You got to give him a couple more games. Like I said, we're talking about a serious back procedure. He didn't have any kind of time, in the minors or any kind of camp related. So we got to see, and we had to see an offense test him and make him move, right? I mean, the third period in that Tampa Bay game was all Tampa Bay. We don't know what he could have done had Carolina really been firing off and getting busy. So we need to see a team. Colorado is that kind of team to press Tampa Bay, especially at home, especially in the altitude. So this is definitely a wait and see kind of a game for me. I understand people grabbing the value with Tampa Bay because plus money, especially if Vasilevsky looks good, he gets hot, gets on a roll. Now all of a sudden the band's back together. We're not going to see plus 110 even against a top team like Colorado. So I understand the value grabbing, but I'm going to wait and see and maybe jump in live.
All right, good stuff. There are a lot of props that I do think stand out. I mean, right now for Tampa Bay, you're right. It's the big boys getting it done for them. Point, Kucherov, Stamkos, Hedman, There's no doubt they have been leading the way for this team. So it's not one of those instances where you go bargain hunting for your Nick Pauls and your Barre Boulets like I did earlier in the season right now, because they don't need them as much. All the big guns, are firing away right now for this Tampa Bay team. That being said, we do have a lineup change here. Mikey Asimont, who does have a point in 3 of the last 4 games, he's on the second line now for Tampa Bay, as John Cooper has got him with Cirelli and Stamkos. So keep that in mind. We've got definitely a very good situation there, maybe for a prop involving him. Yeah, that's the obvious choice for Colorado, is Nichushkin, goal, assist, over 1.5 points. We've talked about that repeatedly with him. By the way, Nathan MacKinnon, due to an illness, a late appearance on the injury report due to an illness. So he's actually a game-time decision here tonight for the Avalanche. So keep an eye on that. A game-time decision for Nate MacKinnon. We'll see. That would make Nichushkin props even better. And then the other choice, Jonathan Drouin, man. I have missed an opportunity or two to start betting some goal props for him, but he scored in 2 of the last 3 games. He's heating up. Drouin is plus 650 in some places to score a goal tonight. That's definitely what I consider great value there. And then the other choice, Ross Colton, because he's a former member of the Tampa Bay Lightning, the age-old facing his former team betting angle when it comes to a player prop. So I could definitely see that for Ross Colton, who's actually done a nice job giving the Avalanche some depth scoring lately. He has 4 goals in the last 7 games for Colorado, and now facing his old team. So there's no question Ross Colton's worth a look here tonight, maybe from a prop standpoint, facing his old team, the Tampa Bay Lightning, in this one. All right, Vegas and Calgary. We've got Vegas minus 115 road favorites, 6 the total, shaded to the under in this game. We both of us had an inkling that Vegas might have a tough game on their hands with Arizona. They sure did. They end up losing 2-0 to the Arizona Coyotes. Shutout for Connor Ingram on Saturday Saturday night it was. Very, very impressive. Vegas had 34 shots. They did heavily outshoot Arizona, but doesn't matter if you don't score. And they got to give Connor Ingram credit. He played really well for Vegas in that game. Vegas, all of a sudden, you look at them, where's their offense gone? They've been shut out in 2 of their last 3 games, 2 goals in their last 3 games combined. It's not exactly what you want to see. They've lost 3 of their last 4. This is the first official slump. I guess that's what you can call it. First official slump of the season for the defending Stanley Cup champions after that rip-roaring start to the season that they had. Now, obviously, they're good enough to battle out of it. The question is going to be, will they be able to battle out of it tonight? Keep in mind, Alec Martinez day-to-day, Shea Theodore on IR. That is a huge loss. And you talk about one of the reasons why they're struggling to score. Well, you lose one of your best puck-moving defensemen on the back end in Shea Theodore. That's certainly going to have an impact, certainly on the ability to get the offense started from your own zone. He's on IR. Alec Martinez is day-to-day. Now, they do have depth. You can put in a Ben Hutton, a Braden Pahal, Caden Korchak. Definitely have a lot of options. But still, they are definitely going to miss Shea Theodore. They are healthy up front. The good news for Vegas is this really is a good spot advantage for them. Calgary's coming off the 4-game road trip: Seattle, Nashville, Dallas, Colorado. Not to mention it was a back-to-back in Colorado on Saturday night, 3rd game in 4 nights coming back home for the Calgary Flames here in this game. Meanwhile, you look at Vegas. This is only going to be their 4th game since November the 18th. So the games have been a little bit more spread out for Vegas going into this game. I do like Vegas here. A situation, and they are still the better team. I'm going to take them here in this spot, laying a short number on the road against the Vegas Golden Knights. And I'm also, because I've been catching on to these Calgary first periods overs, which actually didn't happen for us, unfortunately, Saturday night against Colorado. There were chances, but it just fell short. But I don't think you abandoned ship. And if anything, after a shutout loss the other night against Arizona, you would think Vegas eager to get on the board early in this game. So Vegas minus 115, maybe a little look at the first period over for me as well. What do you think here, Alex? Golden Knights, Flames.
Yeah, we're bucking a trend here too, and taking first period over with a Vegas game because they are 11-2 to the first period under. Like I said, something's got to give. They got to wake up, and they have to wake up early with that offense. So I do like that first period over. Of course, Calgary, like I said, falling short in that game on Saturday, but it still have been on a nice run, 9-3, 4 straight games where there's been a goal in the first 10 minutes as well. So definitely looking at both of those angles. And yeah, it just seems like this is awfully short price to take Vegas. But like I said, they have to prove it to me. I think this game could go back and forth enough to where I still have time to grab something live if I like Vegas, especially because I like both teams to score in the first period too. Plus 160 at BetMGM. So going with those two options and then hoping to maybe dabble and try to grab Vegas live. I see what I'm liking. I see the pace and intensity, the offense that we know they can bring, then that's something I'll be doubling in. And I also have a player that I'm looking for in that Golden Knights lineup. I'll talk about a little bit later.
There we go. A little preview for bargain bin special of the night later. No, it's Aiden Hill and Jacob Markstrom. Aiden Hill and Jacob Markstrom are the goalies tonight, as I expected in this game. And it's Vasilevsky Georgiev in the Tampa Bay, Colorado game officially as far as goaltenders go.
Keep in mind, too, Aiden Hill back home in Calgary should have a lot of family and friends there.
Yes, absolutely. 100% true. And you always don't want to let the mom and dad down and the family down when they're in attendance. I'm going back to the well with Sharon Govich. I know if I don't bet him tonight, he'll score. He's been good. He didn't come through the other night against Colorado, but he's still value right now with the prices you're getting, plus 400 in some books when he's on the top line. Nothing wrong with that. And he has been producing since Pierre Maguire's twin, as I call him, Ryan Huska, since he put Sharon Govich with Lindholm and Mangiapane on the top line. So I still like that. And then as far as Vegas goes, look, it's hard to bet a ton of their props right now, but I think they need their bigger players to get going. We need more from Eichel. We need more from Mark Stone, even Jonathan Marchessault, up and down this year. And he's on a 3-game goal scoring drought. And to be honest with you, you go back to November the 2nd, and he's only got 3 goals for the Vegas Golden Knights in his last 10 games. So it's been even a little quiet for, what we think of as a really good offensive player in Jonathan Marchessault. We'll see if he can kick it into high gear. Someone is going to need to kick it into high gear offensively for Vegas to get out of the doldrums that they've been in the last few games. All right, Washington and San Jose. This coming into the season was going to be, I think, one of the worst teams in the East versus the worst team in the West. Well, Washington's been a little better than that, but they came back down to earth as they got just drubbed in shutout fashion by the Edmonton Oilers on Friday. We'll see if they can rebound as they begin their California swing. They're minus 200 road favorites. The total 5.5 here, shaded to the over here in this game. I really don't plan on watching too much of this game. I don't really have a huge, strong betting opinion on this game. I mean, this is just in no way, shape, or form am I ever going to want to lead minus 240 with Washington. That's not going to happen. And I don't know if I feel comfortable enough to take San Jose. As San Jose won against Vancouver, but we know this team off a win has not always put their best foot forward. That's why they are, arguably the worst team in the NHL. We don't trust teams, or at least I don't trust teams like the San Jose Sharks to win 2 games in a row. Not at all. Plus, look, Washington to me, I worry about, they're going to start coming back down to earth after that 5-game win streak got snapped. But it is still starting a road trip. There's often focus. And look, last year they went to San Jose. They beat the shit out of this team 8-3 on March 28th, March 4th, I should say, 2023 at the end of last season. So just absolutely pulverized this Sharks team. They probably win this game. 5.5, I'm tempted by over. I will admit that. 5.5, I'm definitely tempted by over. I think this total now, whenever I see a 5.5, look, I get it. With Blackwood in net, and it is Blackwood tonight for San Jose, Darcy Kemper for Washington, although Kemper has had his struggles this year. But I'm telling you what, San Jose, even though they can struggle to score, they're not always consistent defensively one game to the next. We did see 8-3 Washington when they played in the Shark Tank last year. I think I could make a case for over 5.5 here in this one at the minus 120. I get it that the Capitals offensively, just got shut out by Edmonton. But let's also not forget they had scored 3 goals or more in 6 straight games prior to that shutout loss to the Edmonton Oilers. Meanwhile, you look at San Jose. They scored 4 against a pretty solid Vancouver team. That game went over the total. And, this is an offense that has actually shown some spark, some life. You just look at this last 6-game subset, and the San Jose Sharks have scored during this span 5, 8, 9, 10, 12, 16 goals in their last 5 games. That's not bad. And we're talking only 5.5 with this total. So, yeah, I think I could talk myself into over 5.5, but nothing on the side for me. What do you think here, Alex? Capitals, Sharks.
Yeah, I mean, this is an insane number to lay with the Capitals, but it's the Sharks, right? And that's the thing. And everything gets priced out of proportion when you're playing a team this bad as San Jose. And Washington, like I said, dominating as far as history-wise goes, but you can't trust Washington in this kind of a spot and with these kind of prices. Like I said, you can't trust San Jose to really give you any kind of offense either, hence why we're seeing a 5.5. So this is a complete pass for me.
Nothing wrong with that. All right, great stuff. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Over 200 live viewers for this edition of the show. Hit the like button. We appreciate it very much. And a reminder again, Ice Guys Live Betcast, 7 p.m. Eastern tomorrow night for a huge Tuesday night card. DM or email me or Alex, and we'll send you the link for the Betcast before it begins. We are looking forward to that.
Yes, absolutely. Also, one thing to check out, the Ice Guys store. All this week, 15% off and free shipping. That's something you don't want to miss. If you missed the Black Friday sale, now's your chance to get some Christmas shopping done next week. So 7 days, 15% off and free standard shipping. iceguys.myspreadshop.com.
All right, great stuff there. Make sure you check out the store. Perfect time with Christmas right around the corner. If you order your stuff now, you'll get it before Christmas arrives as well. All right, bargain bin special of the night. Could not bargain bin special segment for me have gone any better? Yesterday, we went with our guy from the St. Louis Blues, won't you be my neighbors, Jake Neighbors. And not only does he scores the first goal of the game, barely a couple minutes into the game. And I'm like, man, I should have sprinkled on the first goal prop with him. And I know Rich H asked me on social media, I wonder if anyone took him to score 2 goals because he scored 2 in that game against Chicago. No, I did not, unfortunately. I only had the goal prop at plus 340. But it was great to cash that with the bargain bin special on yesterday's show. I'll get to mine in a sec. Let's hear what Alex has first for his Monday night bargain bin special of the night.
Yeah, going to that Vegas-Calgary game, and the Golden Knights need to wake the hell up. If I was Bruce Cassidy, I would have backskated them after getting shut out. You've gotten shut out by Charlie Lindgren, Alex Nedeljkovic, who's coming off an injury, no less, and Connor Ingram. That's embarrassing. You guys are better than that. Somebody's got to step up and deliver. And everybody's expecting Eichel. Everybody's expecting Marshall. So I think it's going to be somebody in the bottom 6 group that's going to step up for them. I'm looking at Chandler Stevenson, who's also on that second power play line. You can get him to score a goal at FanDuel right now, plus 410. He's the guy that I'm looking to get something done for Vegas here tonight. That's my bargain bin special for the night.
Oh, well, that's a guy that's capable when he is on his game. Chandler Stevenson can make an impact, and Alex going with him for bargain bin special of the night. Chandler Stevenson, Vegas Golden Knights. My bargain bin special of the night. So there's a couple of things I think that work well with this prop. Now we're going to the Tampa Bay, Colorado game for this. There are actually a couple of candidates I had for a bargain bin special of the night from this Tampa Bay, Colorado game. But there's one in particular that really, really stands out here. The confidence that Jared Bednar has in this player, clearly starting to come back again. His confidence on the ice is clearly starting to come back again. You look at the last few games, what he's been able to do. He has scored 2 goals in the last 3 games. He is now back on the second line for this Colorado Avalanche team, and alongside Ryan Johansson and Thomas Tatar. And not only that, he's now up on the number 1 power play unit as well for the Colorado Avalanche. So number 1 power play unit, second line, confidence coming back, getting more ice time, 2 goals in the last 3 games. And here's the topper of all. He's facing the team that traded him years ago, the team that drafted him years ago, the Tampa Bay Lightning. We're going with Jonathan Drouin tonight for the Colorado Avalanche against his old team. the team that initially drafted him years and years and years ago, at plus 490 to find the back of the net tonight. A great price, a great situation, tremendous opportunity based on the minutes and the position he's in the lineup and the number one power play unit. So really things fit well for this one. Jonathan Drouin for the Colorado Avalanche, plus 490 for my bargain bin special of the night for this Monday card. Honorable mention to Ross Colton, though. Ross Colton plus 330 at Betano to score a goal facing his former team, but the price isn't as good, situation not as good. Drouin's the best option, best and the better bargain bin, clearly plus 490 as opposed to plus 330. So Jonathan Drouin plus 490 for my bargain bin special of the night. All right, best bets to wrap it up for this Monday. Alex, what do you like for best bet?
This chat room's going nuts. Let's go with the first period. Both teams to score in that Vegas-Calgary game. That's been something that we've been rolling on, and Vegas has to get something going early. So expecting them to get a goal, expecting Calgary to get a goal. Jacob Markstrom in net. So, first couple of shots might go in. Get that puck fire in Vegas. We're going with the Golden Knights and the Flames. First period, both teams to score plus 160. I got that at BetMGM. That's my best bet for Monday.
All right, there we go. And look, we had the Chicago-St. Louis, both teams to score yesterday. First period of that game, it came through. Alex has been picking off these first period BTTS wagers lately. And here it is again, popping up as best bet. Vegas, Calgary, both teams to score first period plus 160 for Alex B. Smith with his best bet. My best bet for this card, it's nothing I really, really love tonight. So by default, I'm going to go with that Florida-Ottawa over 6.5 at minus 125. I think we'll get and I need a win with the best bet, man. It's been a drought here for me with the bet. That was a crusher yesterday to lose that Winnipeg-Nashville over 6. I mean, it looked like it was actually going to get there, and then we get scoreless hockey down the stretch as Nashville hangs on to win 3-2. So hopefully a slump buster here. Florida-Ottawa over 6.5 minus 125 for my best bet for this Monday NHL card. All right. Great stuff. We appreciate everyone in the chat for joining us. And one more reminder before we wrap the show up. Tomorrow night, live betcast. Can't wait. Yeah. Huge Tuesday slate. Great games galore. We're excited. The fridge is loaded up. I'm actually starting to get a little better. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel as far as this illness goes. We're starting to really progress. Hopefully by tomorrow, I'm feeling even better. And we are rocking and rolling for what should be a fun, exciting, and hopefully profitable live betcast on Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern. Looking forward to that on what is a great slate. Of course, DM or email Alex or I, and we will make sure we send you the link for that betcast. Yeah, Alex, go ahead.
Oh, no, that's it. Yeah, no, looking forward to the betcast. I'll mention that in the chat too, like I said. And, keep in mind, though, we don't have the family plan, thing that's we're still working in limbo with that. But, obviously, like I said, with everything being open, it's going to be just kind of more of an open pass for people who are getting on the stream. Email me or DM me or Ian to get that, and we'll take care of that, as we open up to the betcast.
Yeah, absolutely. No question. And would great stuff. Looking forward to the betcast tomorrow night. A reminder, the Ice Guys is live 7 days a week, Monday to Friday. The rest of the week, of course, this week, 2 p.m. Eastern, Saturday and Sunday, noon Eastern. If you can't watch the show live, download the Ice Guys podcast in audio form on all major podcast platforms. For Alex B. Smith, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Monday night. Enjoy the games and good luck. And we will talk to you again tomorrow on Tuesday, a big Tuesday daily show and the betcast coming your way on Tuesday right here on the Ice Guys.